Hello ladies and gents, let's talk about the Rocketeer. But first, Jasper cameo. Yes, Jasper's the real star of the show. So, let's talk about the Rocketeer. Deadline had an exclusive that we're getting a new Rocketeer movie. It's not the Rocketeer that you know. It's a complete revamp. As of all of these things, they will take a property and go, that character that you liked, because the Rocketeer is based on a comic. So, that character that you liked, don't worry about it. We're now going to swap that character out under the same banner, but you're going to have to like it anyway because you liked the original. And if you don't, you're an istophobe or whatever. That's generally the vibe that happens with these things. Now, upon face value, this one's not absolutely atrocious, in fairness. It does seem really, really pointless, though. But it is Disney, so this was always to be expected. I mean, Disney do this with their properties time and time again. I mean, what do you say about it? It's like, of course. Of course this is going to happen. But exclusive, and again, this is an exclusive to Deadline. They say that Disney is reviving a cult classic favourite, The Rocketeer, which came out in 1991, if I remember rightly. And that will be a new Disney Plus movie. So, I mean, that alone means it's probably not going to be very good. It's a movie, and I've got to sort of do a caveat on that. A lot of the Disney Plus series are great, but we haven't seen, as far as I'm aware, a movie made for Disney Plus yet. So the jury's out on whether they're going to actually spend the money necessary to make it a good movie. And a property like The Rocketeer, I can't imagine they would. It's a bit of an obscure one, which makes it all the weirder that they're bringing it back and then just swapping everyone out anyway. So the movie will be titled The Return of the Rocketeer. David and Jessica Oyolowo, butchered that, are producing under their Yoruba Saxon banner, and the project, which will be written by Ed Rickort, will also be a possible starring project for David Oyelowo, who, let me grab an image of Le Chapo. So he's been in a fair few things, actually, a fair few things. Not a bad actor, pretty good actor, in fairness. Pretty good actor, but they're producing it and then he's probably going to star in it. I never like it when this is David or Oyelowo. I never like it when people produce the movies that they tend to star in, especially if they're getting it off the ground initially. I'm not a massive fan of that. David's been in a reasonable amount of things, to be fair. Nothing like huge though. So if I'm looking at his work now, Chaos Walking, he was the preacher in Chaos Walking, if I remember rightly. He was in The Midnight Sky. He was pretty good in The Midnight Sky. And then I'm just looking at basically TV series and things like that. He was in Star Wars Rebels TV series, A Wrinkle in Time, Cloverfield Paradox. He's not really been in he's been in a lot of stuff, but he's not been in a lot of stuff that you go, oh yeah, he's fantastic. He's a good actor, but I don't think he's ever really being, given the opportunity to shine, I guess you could say. Almost like my face is looking right now. Very, very shiny. Let's lower that exposure. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one develops. But, again, a bit of a red flag for me, the fact that he's, it's going to be a vehicle for him just to star in. I'm never a fan of that. So, the original movie released in 1991 was directed by Joe Johnston and adapted from Dan Stevens' graphic novel. In that film, which made close to 47 million at the domestic box office. That's pretty good. For 1991, that's pretty good. That's not bad at all. Became a fan favourite for the studio, and a young pilot stumbles onto a prototype jetpack that allows him to become a high-flying Mars hero. Basically like a cyber... Well, it's not really cyberpunk, but kind of like a cyberpunk superhero. And I've got to love... I love the art style here, like on this poster. I love the art style. It reminds me massively of... I've completely drawn a blank. The Underwater Rapture game series. Absolutely fantastic, but my mind's drawn a complete blank on exactly what they were called. Crazy. But anyway, so The Return of the Rocketeer will have an all-new creative directive with Rickort's story focusing on a retired Tuskegee airman who takes up the Rocketeer mantle. So they're just swapping them out. Remember that one that you liked? It's not him anymore. Walk in new individual. Why? Why? Why do we always do this? It's super dumb. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I guess you could say maybe it's going to be a sequel. If it's going to be a sequel, hey, that's not bad. That's pretty good. But I can't imagine that's going to be the case. Can't imagine that's going to be the case. But if it is a sequel, then that's better, because there'll be references to the first one and such forth. But and the fact that it's called The Return of the Rocketeer, maybe it is. Maybe it is a sequel. But there's so much on this which doesn't bode particularly well. Just swapping characters out, that is creative bankruptcy. In terms of it being on Disney Plus, that's never it's not a huge good sign at the moment. We don't have a massive gauge of Disney streaming, just Disney Plus projects made for just Disney Plus. You know, we've got a gauge of movies which have been made for the for theatre that have then been put on Disney Plus. 100%, that's fine, but we don't have a gauge on just Disney Plus live action movies. So Brigham Taylor is also producing alongside Yoruba Saxon, Mortal Media executive producing. This is the first film under Yoruba Saxon's first look deal with Disney. Wasn't aware they had a first look deal, but hey, which Deadline actually broke the news on, which is quite interesting. The Return of the Rocketeer is being developed by the Disney live action team. I didn't know Disney had a live action team. This is all kind of news to me, quite frankly. Now, Rick wrote Lionsgate's hit feature Now You See Me, which grossed more than 351 million worldwide and spawned a sequel that made close to 335 million globally. What else has he written? Rickort. So, because this is always the kind of gauge on whether people are good or anything like that. I don't know whether this chap has done an awful lot of other things, to be perfectly honest. So Edward Rickort, again, yeah, not an awful lot of stuff actually. Surprisingly so. You'd think that he would have done a lot. He did a few episodes of Jessica Jones, so that's not too bad. And yeah, it's just Now You See Me. So maybe that bodes well, or maybe it doesn't. Again, doesn't have a massive history to kind of look through and go, oh, here's the back catalogue of success. But there you go, there's that. Now he's written for Marvel, Netflix's Jessica Jones, which I've already said, on which he was also a consulting producer. Not bad. Wayward Pines, and produced and wrote the Netflix series Raising Dion. And he's wrote by Verve, Adam Colbrenner's Lit Entertainment Group, and attorney George Davies. Yoruba Saxon's Productions was founded by David and Jessica Oyolowo and is focused on creating values-based content. Whatever that means. I mean, you're a business. Surely you want value out of the content that you're making, but whatever. Across all platforms and for all quadrants, with an aim to shift the cultural and colour outside the lines. What? What does that even mean? That's a whole lot of PR bollocks, isn't it? Our aim is to shift culture and colour outside the lines. Alright, fantastic. Like, who cares? Preach, I guess. Well, you're in good hands with Disney, because epic. No worries, I guess. Whatever. What do you guys think? Rocketeer. Reboot, I guess. / maybe a sequel. I am not particularly interested in this, but let me know what you think. I think this has a lot of negatives. But I don't want to be overly negative about it, so hand it on over to you. Can you sway me? Either way, let me know down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. You stayed this long, clearly enjoyed the video. Smash that like button on your way out. Thanks so much though, guys. Take care.